Well, hello, Canadian Campaholic here, coming from the town of Godrich, Ontario. We just got here, final camping trip of the summer. Always take a pit stop here. It was a Walmart, Dollarama, Canadian Tire. It takes us about 2.5 hours to get from our home to this point. It's usually about this point everybody's had enough and needs a bathroom break and stretch their legs. So definitely cooler weather though, a bit breezy, only around 20 degrees. Not sure how much time we'll be spending at the beach, but anyway, we'll bring you back when we're at the campsite. All right, we're at Point Farms now. We're at the filling station. There's 2 of them, one on each side. And because our services on our camper are on the right-hand side of the camper, or the passenger side of your vehicle, this is handy. I don't know why they put the services on that side of the camper. It's a bit silly, but no hose. And there's nobody at the dump station and nobody else filling. So I know I say this a lot on the channel, but it's one of the big perks of coming to this campground. Pinery would just be nuts right now. Random observation, which is completely meaningless, but if you're a fan of true crime and true crime documentaries, I was standing here looking at this water pipe, or this stand, and up here, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. So if you've ever watched Making a Murderer, the award-winning crime series that was on Netflix, you'll be very familiar with Manitowoc County in Wisconsin. Completely random. I don't even know why I shared that. But anyway, we'll get the tank filled, and then we'll go get set up in our very spacious site. Well, we made it. Nice big site. Kids already misbehaving. Came in that way, hugged it over, and backed in, 90-degree angle. To be careful of this post here. I guess technically I could have attempted that scoop thing that some people talk about, but you'd end up driving into the neighbor's campsite in order to achieve that technique of the scoop. You'd have to go over there, and this is barely wide enough to fit 2 vehicles down it. So nice big open site, lots of sunshine. Now time to get set up. Well, as is custom in August trips, we've come down to the beach on our first evening. And August is so unpredictable weather-wise, because right now it's about 60 Fahrenheit, or about, what is that, 16 Celsius, somewhere around there. And the water is glacial. One of the things you got to be mindful of with the lakes is water quality. And when it's choppy like this, especially when we've had a lot of rain, the bacteria levels can be high. Here in Huron County, they generally test the water about once a week, so it's been about a week since the last test. But even if the water wasn't posted, which it isn't technically at the moment, I don't think we'd be going in it to swim. I'm wearing a jacket, the kids have got hoodies on, and it's like August 21st, so it should still be hot. I think tomorrow it's supposed to go up to around 70, 71 Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. Maybe a bit warmer with the sun. And then Friday, it's going to go up to 27 Celsius, feel like 30. So that's getting better. That's getting up there into the 80s Fahrenheit. So whether or not it'll be nice enough for beach weather is hard to say. The issue that we have with Point Farms is that really going to the beach is the main thing to do. I've said this on the channel before, but the hiking trails here are really not that great. And if you've got little kids, you don't want to just sit in the campsite all day. There's a few things to do in Godrich for sure, playgrounds and such, but we want to come up here for quote-unquote summer camping. Pinery is still too busy right now, but it is a little disappointing when the weather changes like this. I will say, not many bugs, which is nice, and it should be a nice clear night, so we'll show you a little bit more of the sunset, and then we'll bring you back when we're at the campsite for our first campfire of the evening. And maybe a nice little walk in the evening, check out all the beautiful little campsites. There's quite a few people here with little Christmas lights and porch lights and things. It's always cool to see everybody else's setup. See you in a bit. A lot of haze tonight. First evening of this trip, first fire. When I set up the fire with the intention we were going to light it when we got back from the beach, but the fire pit was still so warm from the previous camper that some of it started to smoke on its own, so I had to put a little bit of water on it, and then it made it a little tricky to light. I don't know if you can see it. You probably won't be able to see it. It's too dark, but we brought our... Oh, there it is. We brought our little tent again, and my son, eldest son, who's 14, is probably going to sleep in that tonight. We're going to blow up bed. They were on sale at Walmart. Not sure if my 12-year-old daughter will sleep in there too. We'll see. Very, oh, you can't see squat. Very clear night. Lots of stars. Going to go down to about 8 Celsius tonight, so a little bit chilly. Definitely unseasonably cool for August, but I guess August evenings do cool down, so. See you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's just a bit before 9 a.m. on our first day here at camp. I'll turn you around so you can see the view. Whoops. It got very chilly last night, went down to around 7 degrees Celsius, which is probably, mid to high 30s Fahrenheit. We had to have the furnace running a couple times in the night. The trailer got really chilly. My eldest kids slept in the tent. I just checked in on them. They said they didn't get cold, which is impressive, but they need a little more padding underneath them, so. Not sure what's in store for today. As I mentioned on the video yesterday, when you come to Point Farms, one of the biggest draws is the beach. And if it's not going to be that hot, you're going to find some alternative things to do. So, going to cook some breakfast here in a minute. Good old bacon, eggs, and tomatoes and beans. Another coffee. And then we're going to figure out what the day has in store. Beautiful day down at the Godridge Beach area. This is along the boardwalk here between St. Christopher Beach and Cove Beach. We'll make our way down there to the Cove Beach playground and the actual Cove Beach in a little while. We used to come here all the time when we would camp in Godridge because we found sometimes this beach was nicer than the one in the park. But they charge, I think, $3-4 an hour now, something like that, which most, municipal places do charge now. It's not just Godridge, but it does twist your arm a little bit to maybe just stay at the Provincial Park Beach. But lately I've been finding the water here is a lot more clear and blue, so we shall see. I think it's $20 a day maximum, somewhere around there. And this boardwalk extends all the way down there, workout equipment and such. Whoops. All the way down in that direction. You'll have to forgive the vertical filming. It's about 8:30 on our first full day camping, and my son and I are just leaving the hospital in Godridge. We'd got back to camp after our afternoon out, and my son passed out. He fainted. I was sitting in the camper. He was outside, and he passed out. So out of an abundance of caution, we got him checked out, and he's okay. Everything's fine. But it's another good advantage to camping at Point Farms is that there's an excellent hospital here in Godridge. Bit of a long wait, a little slow, but great care, and good to know my son's okay. So we're going to head back to camp, try and have a campfire. We miss sunset, reheat our dinner, and hope that day 2 is a little better. Well, good morning. We've just had our first coffee. I'm sleeping on the dinette this time around, broken down into a bed. But it just occurred to me, you look out of this window, and if you zoom in, you've got a lovely lake view. Isn't that nice? Well, change of scenery for today. We drove down to the beach at the Provincial Park, and it was quite wavy, quite murky, and a bit breezy. And after yesterday being a little screwed up with the hospital visit, we decided to come down to Cove Beach. Gotta pay to stay here. You've got to pay to come down here, but as you can see, it's a little more sheltered, much calmer. Water's not super clear, but it's chilly too, but I think this will be a nice way to spend the day. Another little neat thing about coming to Godrich, if you're into boats and ships, is all of the big container vessels going into the Godrich Harbor and the Sifto salt mine. That is the Algoma Sault, I guess, as in Sault Ste. Marie, 700 and some odd feet long. There was a tugboat out here that seems to have disappeared. I think it's on the other side, and this boat is very slowly making its way towards the harbor backwards. There's another big ship, similar size, already in the harbor. We'll maybe get a shot of that later. Just coming back to the beach after getting fast food, and thought we would show you the view in the harbor. The small boats. It's not often you can say you've had a perfect day, but we've decided to stick it out here at the Cove Beach until sunset. Some of the kids and Claire are back in the water. I just got out of the water with the tiny one here. It's almost like a mill pond out there though. It's warm, barely a breath of wind. Still lots of people milling around. There's a nice restaurant down there by the harbor where people having a Friday evening dinner. But it's just absolutely gorgeous. No, I don't think so, honey. So we'll stay here, like I said, till sunset, and then we'll bring you back in when we're back at camp, having our last campfire for this trip and for the summer. Well, here it is, folks. Final campfire of summer 2024. As I've explained before on the channel, we're going to take a break in September. Just way too busy. 3 out of 4 of our kids starting school. We'll pick up camping again in October for Thanksgiving. Kind of bittersweet, really. This trip has been excellent, other than my son ending up in the ER, but he's doing well now. You know, sometimes when you go camping, you know, it is a lot of work. No mistake about it. It is a lot of work. And sometimes when you do it for a long time, you start to feel a bit like you're just kind of going through the motions. And you kind of forget to stop and smell the roses. I.e., you know, sitting by a fire. And the problem with that is that it just rushes by, and before you know it, you're packed up and you're heading home. But this was one of those trips where it's just been fantastic. So I think next year, in addition to continuing the tradition of only going once a month, just logistically and financially it's too expensive to do it more than that. I think we just need to stay a bit longer. We do 3 nights once a month. My wife and I were talking about this, and I think we might actually do 4 nights once a month. We'll have to be very economical with water usage and the holding tanks, because I do not want to have to hook up the camper and tow it to the dump station partway through a trip. But yeah, I think we'll give that a shot, because on trips like this where the weather has been textbook, having that extra night would just be fantastic. Anyway, we will see you in the morning for departure day. Oh dear. Anyway, have a good night. All right, so it's morning of departure day. We've had breakfast. The wife is slaving away, tidying up inside as best as we can. We've pretty much got everything packed away outside. It's really just a case of me cleaning the bathroom in a minute and bringing up the steadies, stabilizers, and getting everything hooked up. As this is one of the most popular campsites in Point Farms, and it is a Saturday, I'm always wondering if I'm ever going to have that experience where the person coming into the site disregards the 2 p.m. checkout/check-in and sits there looking at you, or has the audacity, as I've heard some of you experience this, to say, "When are you leaving?" In the 10 plus years that we've been camping, I don't think that's ever actually happened to us, but I'm always cognizant of that. But we'll be off site probably by 12:30 at the latest. And I think what I'll do is I'll wrap this video up in a few days' time and let you know whether or not that new chemical liquefied made any difference to the sensors. So we'll come back in a few days when we know what's going on there. All right, so it's now 2 days since we got home from Point Farms. Forgive the mess. Those of you that watched the vlog knew that we had been using this Thetford Campfire, which no good. Ever since we started using this, we had all kinds of issues with the sensors showing 2/3 full on the black and gray. We purchased this liquefied product from Matt's RV Reviews. I'm not affiliated with them. I just bought this on Amazon. Let's go up to the panel and see how we did. So, battery is showing full. Fresh tank is empty, which we expected. Black tank, empty. Gray tank, oh, it flickered a bit, but it is empty. Now, these had been sitting at 2/3 full for black and gray for weeks. So, one trip out using the liquefied. Also adding 3 or 4 gallons of water to the black tank and a decent amount to the gray meant that this product did the trick. Fantastic. So if I can't get Supertech, what's it called? Aquatech Super Enzo, then liquefied is going to be my next product. This, garbage. Don't buy it.